given that I think most of the audience listening in is probably just getting started or looking to get started in the industry. And so the challenge that I'll probably highlight for them is capital raising in general. There is such an oversaturation and frustration, whatever the right term is, with respect to investors that have, for better or worse, gotten burnt and had a number of challenges in the Canadian market specifically, that they're extremely shy of deploying capital into international markets. So if your business is going to be focused today on international markets, do not underestimate the challenge that capital raising is going to place before you. We're fortunate having raised capital, 2 or 3 years ago, where there was an abundance of capital in the industry to be deployed, and you needed to have a good business plan that could justify that rationale. But today, not only do you require to have a good business plan, but unless you're able to, have quite a bit of cash reserves on hand, you're going to be up for a serious challenge. And the other thing I'd say related to that is with building out a facility, getting EU GMP certifications, cost runs are a certainty. You are going to have those. Make sure you factor those into your plan with respect to capital raising. So I would say that's probably the number one challenge for companies that are trying to get into the space today. And investors don't want to hear that you're going to recruit money in 5 years or 6 years. People want you to generate revenue today. And the fact of the matter is that Europe is still a small market. It is going to build out. There's no question about it. But when you look at, growth numbers and EBITDA projections and forecasts that you're going to have in 2020 and 2021, they are still tiny when compared with a US cannabis industry as an example. And so if there's any capital that's being deployed today, it's all going to the US because the ROI is just so much greater than it is internationally. And so that's a struggle that companies are most certainly going to face.
Yeah.
Can I get onto that? Sorry, Chris. Just because I agree with you, Deepak, and I also, if I can, maybe it's a personal opinion, but I feel that investors are slightly going away or very cautious with putting money into cultivation. I think there's so much cultivation out there and supply of material that it's probably towards the other end now of the supply chain. So maybe looking at the manufacturing patient end, or technology differentiation. So, I could be wrong, but that's what I've found, particularly in Australia, but 100% capital is very hard these days.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to set up a cultivation business today, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the best jurisdiction in the world. You could be the best grower in the world. Trying to raise capital for cultivation is nearly impossible.